Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is Speed News, where we get to all the news from across the world in a matter of 30 minutes. Let's begin. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent urges allies to support Washington's efforts to squash Iran's economy, saying countries must choose sides as President Donald Trump threatens economic consequences for supporting Iran. Bessent vowed to step up economic pressure on Tehran as the war approaches the 6-month mark. He also urged China to join the campaign, warning that the U.S. will target countries and companies that continue to buy Iranian oil, transfer money, or conduct business with Iran. The USS George Washington has arrived in West Asia to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln after the Lincoln's record-long deployment of more than 250 days. The rotation comes amid rising U.S.-Iran tensions and growing concerns over conditions aboard the Lincoln, including supply shortages, crew exhaustion, and mental health strains. Maritime security agencies say a U.S.-sanctioned tanker has been hijacked in the Gulf of Aden after 6 armed men boarded the vessel and forced it towards Somalia. The Simal tanker sent a distress call after being approached east of Al-Mukalla in Yemen. The ship was sanctioned by Washington over alleged links to Iran's shadow fleet and accusations of transporting Iranian oil using deceptive shipping practices. The incident comes amid a resurgence in Somali piracy. Syrian Kurdish leader Mazloum Abdi has said that the integration of Kurdish civil, military, and administrative institutions into Syria's state structure is complete. The announcement follows months of negotiations under a January agreement with Damascus that called for the full integration of Kurdish institutions into the Syrian state. The move marks the end of the Kurdish self-rule project and a new phase in relations with Damascus. Abdi said Kurds will now focus on securing their rights through Syria's constitutional framework. A 35-year-old Albany woman has been charged with supporting ISIS over an alleged plot to bomb the New York State Capitol and target lawmakers. Federal authorities say Jessica Bowie conducted surveillance of the Capitol, sought an explosive device and a handgun, and pledged allegiance to ISIS. The FBI says the alleged plot was foiled before any attack could take place. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has said that there was no specific credible threat to the Capitol. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged allies to provide more Patriot missiles after a massive Russian air attack on Kyiv and the surrounding region killed at least 16 people and wounded dozens. Zelensky said Ukraine is ready to buy the interceptors as the country faces a critical shortage of air defense missiles. He said more Patriot missiles are needed to protect civilians from Russian ballistic attacks. Hundreds of Tunisians have protested in the capital, Tunis, against President Kais Saied, citing power cuts, drinking water shortages, and political repression. Demonstrators also demanded the release of political detainees as public frustration grows over living conditions and the government's policies. A Bolivian court has suspended the pre-trial detention hearing for Fernando Cremedo, an advisor to Argentine President Javier Milei, who is under investigation over the alleged attempted femicide of his former partner Nadia Beled. Beller's lawyer says a forensic analysis of Seremido's phone found conversations allegedly discussing the elimination of Beller. Prosecutors are seeking formal charges and pre-trial detention at Bolivia's maximum security Conchocoro prison. Thousands of Argentine workers, unions and residents have marched in Buenos Aires to protest a rising household debt and the growing struggle to make ends meet. The protest was part of a march of the Indebted March towards the Economy Ministry, carrying banners and chanting against the country's economic conditions. Activists say millions of Argentines are turning to credit to cover basic expenses, with many falling behind on repayments. Protesters say high interest rates and easy access to digital loans are pushing more families deeper into debt. Dozens of Waorani Indigenous people have marched in Ecuador's Amazonian city of Puyo, demanding the permanent closure of oil block 43 IIT in the Yasuni Reserve. The protests mark 3 years since Ecuadorians voted to end oil extraction in the block. The Waorani says the government has failed to fully implement the referendum and are calling for an end to oil extraction in their territory. The government has said that the block's 247 wells will be decommissioned over 5 years and 5 months. First Lady Melania Trump has announced a new partnership with IndyCar, Fox Corporation, Indiana University and Purdue University to expand educational and career opportunities for young people aging out of foster care. The initiative, called Fostering the Future, aims to help young people access college education, build careers and achieve financial independence. IndyCar says the partnership would give foster youth opportunity to build careers and become future leaders. The partnership comes ahead of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix in Washington, D.C. on 22nd and 23rd August, part of the U.S. 250th anniversary celebrations. Jailed former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been moved from Adala jail to Shifa International Hospital in Islamabad for medical examination following Supreme Court order. The court had ordered his transfer within 48 hours and directed that he be examined by a medical panel, including his personal physician. Khan's party says his health has deteriorated in prison, including significant vision loss in the right eye. The government says medical reports have not shown a condition requiring urgent treatment. He arrived at the hospital under heavy police and rangers security. Jan Sena Party MP Lingamaneni's Ramesh's son, Sanjush, has been booked after his Aston Martin allegedly hit and killed a 26-year-old mall employee in Hyderabad. Police say the car was being driven rashly and at a high speed when it hit Bharati Mukhi as she crossed the road near In-Orbit Mall on 16th of August. Police have registered a case for causing death by rash or negligent driving. No arrest has been made as of Friday morning. Former Army Chief General Manoj Narwane has said Pakistan remains a security threat, largely because of its continued support for terrorism. But he has said China will be India's main long-term competitor across political, economic, trade and military fields. Navani has called for strong military deterrence while saying India should resolve differences with Beijing through dialogue and diplomatic channels. He also said India must keep its armed forces prepared to deter any potential misadventure. At least 51 people have died after a boat capsized in Nigeria's Sokoto state. Local residents say 46 bodies have been buried, with 5 more recovered as rescue operations continue. Authorities say the boat may have been overloaded, with search efforts still underway for possible survivors. Most of the passengers were reportedly women and children heading to farmland across the river. Heavy rain flooded parts of New York City, including a subway station, as the city faced a threat of flash flooding. Video showed water pouring from the ceiling into a subway platform while passengers walked through puddles as the train waited to depart. Heavy rain also caused difficult travel conditions on city streets, with traffic and pedestrians navigating the downpour. New York City Emergency Management had urged residents to prepare for possible flash flooding and significant travel disruptions. Floodwaters swept through the northern Italian town of Isola di Fondra after a swollen stream overflowed amid severe weather. Firefighters evacuated around 250 people from nearby campsite as rising water and the threat of a landslide raised safety concerns. Emergency crews and heavy machinery were deployed to deal with the flooding. Italy's Civil Protection Department issued an orange weather alert for Lombardia on Friday, warning of further flooding risks. Chilean authorities have deployed Army and Navy personnel to support cleanup operations following mudslides and flooding in the northern city of Tocopilla. More than 1,000 people remained in temporary shelters across Antofagasta region, with nearly half in Tocopilla. The mudslides damaged homes, vehicles, and roads, while military personnel and volunteers worked to clear mud and debris. President Jose Antonio Cast visited the affected areas as authorities reported no deaths or missing people. Oil prices were a little changed Friday, but headed for a second straight weekly gain as the U.S.-Iran conflict continued disrupting West Asia supplies. Brent rose to $93.82 a barrel, while U.S. crude slipped to $86.78. Brent gained over 7% this week, and U.S. crude more than 8%. Disruptions around the Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly 1/5 of global oil consumption normally passes, remain a major supply concern. Asian shares were mixed on Friday but remained on track for weekly losses as rising U.S. Treasury yields and higher oil prices weighed on sentiment. Japan's Nikkei fell 0.8%, extending its weekly decline to 4.4%, while South Korea and Taiwan also remained lower for the week. Higher global borrowing costs are challenging equity valuations, particularly the AI trade ahead of Nvidia's earnings next week. Brent crude climbed more than 5% this week amid Gulf tensions, adding to inflation concerns. Japan's core inflation accelerated to 1.8% in July, up from 1.6% in June, moving closer to Bank of Japan's 2% target. The increase was driven partly by higher import and crude oil costs amid a weaker yen and geopolitical tensions. A separate measure excluding fresh food and fuel rose 1.9%. The data is strengthening expectations that the Bank of Japan could raise its benchmark rate from 1% to 1.25% at its September 17-18 meeting. The central bank last raised rates in June, taking them to a 31-year high. Walmart is seeing signs that U.S. shoppers are pulling back. Its comparable sales rose just 2.6%, missing the 3.8% expected by analysts and marking the retailer's lowest growth in 6 years. Walmart shares plunged 9%, wiping more than $80 billion off its market value. Higher gasoline prices are adding pressure, with Walmart expecting fuel costs to be $2 billion higher than previously forecast. Still, the retailer raised its full-year sales and profit outlook, helped by e-commerce sales that grew 24%. Canada and the U.S. say that they are very close to a trade deal, but key issues remain unresolved. Talks are aimed at easing tariffs that have strained relations between the countries. The pressure is mounting, with the U.S. threatening 50% tariff on about $20 billion of Canadian goods. Under the proposed deal, tariffs on Canadian-built vehicles could fall from 25% to 15%. While steel and aluminium tariffs could be cut in half, negotiators are also working through disputes over Canadian content in goods, auto parts, and access for U.S. alcohol in Canada. U.S. cybersecurity agencies are warning that hackers are targeting Siemens S7 controllers used to operate critical infrastructure, including water systems, energy facilities, and manufacturing plants. The warning from CISA, the FBI, and the NSA comes amid a series of cyber attacks targeting water and wastewater systems across the U.S. The agency says hackers are using AI to help create exploit scripts and identify vulnerable Siemens controllers that run outdated software or have weak security. TCS has reportedly started using a digital user experience monitoring tool on laptops provided to some employees, according to a Money Control report. The software can report which applications are being used and how much time is spent on them, giving the company greater visibility into activity on work devices. Such tools can help companies identify security risks, detect unusual activity, and protect confidential data from leaving corporate systems. But the report has also raised questions about employee privacy and the extent to which companies should monitor how workers use their devices. Google is offering eligible college students in India 1 year of Google AI Plus for free, giving them access to Gemini's AI tools without the usual monthly subscription cost. The Google AI Plus plan normally costs ₹399 per month in India, making the 12-month student offer worth nearly 4,800 rupees. Now, the offer comes as Google expands Gemini with new study-focused features, including a dedicated student hub, study notebooks, flashcards, and practice quizzes. The Indian women's hockey team are through to the second stage of the World Cup. India secured a draw against England in the Netherlands to join their men's counterparts in the last 8. India needed only a draw to guarantee qualification, while higher-ranked England needed a victory. And India held for a goalless result to qualify for the last 8. Indian goalkeeper Bichu Devi was the star of the show as she made crucial saves in the dying moments to ensure the score remains goalless. Now, there were celebrations all around in the Indian camp after the final whistle. India will face defending champions the Netherlands in their opening match of the second stage on Friday. India suffered a huge blow at the Badminton World Championships in New Delhi as PV Sindhu and Ayush Shetty were knocked out in the pre-quarterfinals. The twin defeats bring the country's singles campaign to an end. Two-time Olympic medalist Sindhu hopes of winning an unprecedented 6th World Championships medal ended with a grueling 11-21, 21-15, 17-21 loss to China's world number 3 Wang Zhiyi, who battled severe cramps in both legs to advance to the quarterfinals. While in the men's singles, India's Ayush Shetty fell to Indonesia's 11th seed Alwi Farhan. Well, that's a wrap on Speed News for today. News and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching WION The World. Do stay tuned.